So this particular shape right here is just an extruded box with symbols on either side of it. And these are the actual symbols right here on the right-hand side. And the pieces that made them, just dragged them from the side piece panel over here. So when you take a look at this section, this is made with rectangular pieces. So taking a rectangular tool like so, and option and dragging it across to make the shape and duplicating it until you get six of them there, 6 times across. That creates the graphics for the side. And then all you need in the symbols panel is to just create a new symbol. But when you take a look at the bag itself, if you want to try to put some of these creases in it, you could create that on the symbol. Keep in mind that the symbol has to be only one to a side panel, and that'll put it behind the image. So when you take a look at that selection, you can select these pieces, group them together, and then select these 2 parts, and then just take the align tool to center them. First group them together, and then select, let's see if it'll let me unlock that. So you can select all of them and just use the center panel to build that up. This section you can actually go in with the gradient, so you can click on the gradients. You don't need to make it this detailed, but just kind of giving you the opportunity for that. So here's the section. Kind of give it a tone of some sort. Give it a gradient like this. And then on these edges you can increase or decrease these parts. So it's just trying to get some of the shaping of the bag on one side. But there's a couple selections. So this is grouped together, and you can look at the image to see how far down that graphic has to go. And it's always a good idea to make a duplicate copy of these sections as you go through this. Same idea, I can take another rectangle to find half the distance for this. Give that a fill, and then just using the gradient again, shift key that part, and under transparency. So this is making a little bit more elaborate on one side of the panel, just to show it to you. The original part is just this section here. But just to show you the difference, select all of this, and see if we can't make the selection for it. So the gradients, when you do them as far as making this into a symbol, so here's the piece. Here's just going to make it a side panel. So that's made into a symbol. This Lucky's part, which goes on the back, and a copy of the truck is made into a symbol. So this part up here that has the graphic, you're trying to look at the bag and just make it from the top down. So here's the default of black to white. So take off the white, and just on the stroke increase a little bit. And that's just going to be extruded through that panel. But before you do it, you have to change it to an outline. So here's the piece. I'll just give it that color. So there it is, that section. And zoom into it. And it is a path, so you just have to go to the object path and outline that stroke. So it's a shaped outline, and then under Effect 3D Extrude, this is where you will set this part, and that's the default for it. And if you click inside here, that's at 50 points PT, so I'm just going to extend it out a little bit to make it, and then cascade it like this. So here it is as far as a section, rotating that across. There is a perspective approach, so I'm just going to bring that into play there a little bit. And then taking a look at more options for the shading. This is the light source on the sphere. And I'll give you an idea, and you can create a couple of pieces of light just so you can see it. And put this one behind it, so you kind of have the two sides of the bag there like that. A little bit of the perspective again. Grabbing this across. And the last part is the map options. So you have, this has 10 sides, the red going across, showing you the back right. Here's the front. So on the surface, I'm just going to take the truck. Now the truck is upside down only because of how it was extruded. So I'm just going to invert it and shrink it down a little bit. Place that in there. Hit slower so it'll bring the graphic through it. And try to find the end piece. So this is the end with the straight lines, just the arrows. And then the other one that I tried was just showing a little of the shading. Putting that in there. I'm going to rotate this as well. Just to see what this is going to look like. Tighten that up a little bit. And that gives it so it has the bag side. The other one is just the straightaway section, so just making it a little bit smaller. And click OK. So now I have the two pieces on there that show that graphic. Okay, so you can see that. Now it looks like this might have got a little bit of red changed in there, so I'm going to take this color just by selecting it here. Take this orange and just make sure it goes into the swatches. Just drag and drop it right there. And then go back to the symbols. This way I can adjust it if it needs to. And these are the handles, so you can actually create the handle with a stroke right here. This one is the outline of the stroke, and then this is the extension of the 3D piece that you can place right on top of it. And you can see the coloring, so you can double click on the color and lighten that color up a little bit just by this part. And you can also, in the appearance panel, open up the 3D panel of this one, hit preview, and just change the lighting on it a little bit. Might be just enough. Click OK, and then just do an option and click in the background. You can make it a little bit smaller and send it to the back. And use the appearance panel again to edit that one. That's a separate piece. Change a little bit darker. Okay, so then just select these two parts and group them together. And that'll give you that bag. See if you can't put that in there.